What up, peeps? It's your boy Heckin Steve. Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk to you about the fear of missing out. So, as you know, I've been collecting for about a year and a half, and I've got about 550 games now, which is that's cool. I've got a lot of digital games too, like on Steam. There's hundreds of games that I've accumulated over the past, like 20 or so years. But what I really wanted to talk about was the fear of missing out and how that could really make you waste a lot of money. So, I look at the collection here of 550 games, and there are some things on here that I am never, ever going to play again. Like Madden 15, never, ever going to play that. So, I might go back and play Madden 25. Like, technically, Madden 14. This version of Madden is pretty sweet. And so is like 2K14. I probably played the most of that, but not to get into sports games too much, but like, if I got rid of every game, okay, so I think of it this way, okay? When I'm buying games now, I want to use the mindset of like, what if there were only 10,000 copies of this game? Would I be someone that would be appropriate to have that game? Like out of 10,000? Do I love it enough to say that I should be the guy that owns a copy of that? Like Stray, for example, on the PS5. This is a pretty sweet game. It's fun. But if there were only 10,000 copies of it in the world, do I think that I would be the guy to own this? Probably not. It's a good game and all, but, and see, if I think that way, like Skate 3, I love Skate 3, so I feel like I should be one of the people that owns that game. But if you go into that mindset, that kind of like would help you, kind of thin out the collection or get you down to like an all-killer, no-filler setup. Because this game collection right here is definitely padded. It's padded. And what I mean by that is like there's a lot of games on here that are just here to make the collection bigger, and they could be good games, but they might just be games that I don't really need to own because I don't love them that much. Like Death Stranding, that's a great game, and I love Hideo Kojima's work, but if there were only 10,000 copies, I don't think I would be the guy that would want to own that, I feel like that should be owned by somebody that loves that game even more than me. Now, Metal Gear Solid, of course, I definitely would keep that because that's one of my favorite video games ever. So is Detroit Become Human. It's definitely in my top 20. I wouldn't say it's in like my top 5 or anything like that. But there was a YouTube video put out, I think it was about 7 months ago now, by Mr. Right Way. Okay, and I have mixed feelings about that gentleman. But he said, I think the title was like, FOMO is not a YouTuber problem. I'll put it up here so you can see exactly what video I'm talking about. But basically, he was saying that like YouTubers are not at fault for creating FOMO within the gaming community, and he was not willing to take any kind of responsibility for that at all. And I just want to go ahead and say flat out that's completely false. Like, YouTubers and their game collections influence so many people to buy games. It's not even funny. And whether they intend to do that or not doesn't matter because it still makes it happen. Now, yeah, you want to tell people, you're like, oh man, this game is awesome. It's fucking amazing. You should get a copy of it. Obviously, people like to share with the world or everybody, games that they like. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be willing to acknowledge that, you do play a role and, like influencing people. Ghost of Tsushima. I've owned this game twice. This one's still sealed because I haven't opened it back up. But I have beaten this game. Absolutely love and adore this game. So if I was going through and getting rid of games that are just padding my collection, let me turn this down. But yeah, if I was doing the 10,000 rule, okay, maybe that's what I'll call it, then I could say, yeah, I would be one of the 10,000 to own Ghost of Tsushima, Now, in like a literal sense, maybe I wouldn't actually end up. that way. But I'm thinking from the mindset of, you know, if there were only 10, I should be one of them because I love that game so much. But other YouTubers, you know, like, it's awesome to see people's collections online. You know, like when you watch Mort's Garage and he has every single Nintendo 64 game complete in box. That's amazing. You know, and that's cool to look at. But a lot of people that watch these gaming collectors, even RNG Gamer, he's got a fantastic collection. When they watch these people, though, it's like influencing them to make purchasing decisions, whether it's intended to be that way or not. And in Mr. Rightway's case, for example, he says that it's not any of his responsibility, or he's not at fault for influencing people to buy stuff with fear of missing out. But then he has other videos, like this one that I'll put on the screen, that say, basically, you need to hurry up and buy these games. You need to buy. He even did a PlayStation 30th anniversary video recently, and that's the thing too, is like, you know, he ended up with, I think, 3 extra controllers. He got the Portal, and he might have got 1 or 2 consoles. I can't remember exactly, but I'm just sitting there thinking, like, damn, you know, I couldn't get anything. But this dude has got so much, and then he's like, oh, I'm not even gonna keep this 3rd controller. I'm gonna use it for trade. So basically, he's gonna leverage his position to make somebody give him a lot more stuff than they really should to get that, which I think is pretty shady and shitty. If you've watched some of my older reseller videos, then you're well aware of how I feel about when people do stuff like that. But yeah, I think that YouTubers, even myself, you know, and I don't even really try that hard to like push video games onto people, but I mean, that's just how the public works, is like if people watch you and they enjoy your stuff and they see the games that you enjoy and you tell them about them, more than likely, if they don't already have the game, they're probably going to seek it somewhere. And that does kind of like, you know, increase demand, you know, as small as it is, but, you know, it's a snowball thing. You know, if there's hundreds of YouTubers doing that to hundreds of people a week, a day, a month, you know, it ends up, you know, becoming a bigger problem. But not really a problem, but, you know, it's just, you know, things are more expensive because there's more demand for it. But yeah, if we're talking about collecting in general and padding the collection, there are a ton of games here that I wouldn't want to own. You know, like, even if I'm just looking at this one row of 360 games, here's 4 Assassin's Creed games that can get the boot right here. All Pro Football 2K8, fantastic game, but I'm not really a super fan. I much prefer NFL 2K5 over that game, but that one's great too, don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's all I wanted to really say today. You know, the fear of missing out, and that too. I have all this shit, and I don't even feel much different. I mean, like, I felt good getting the stuff, like being like, yeah, it was great to pick that up. But you know, now it's just like sitting on the shelf, like Halo Infinite here. Played the campaign when it came out on Game Pass, but last holiday, Best Buy had this brand new for $15, and as you can see, haven't even opened it, and probably never will open it because it's on Game Pass. If I ever want to play it, no need to come in here, pull the cellophane off, pop the disc in, when I could just, you know, play it on Game Pass. Not to mention the multiplayer is free on that, so you don't even need Game Pass. If you just want to play Halo multiplayer, you could just do that. But yeah, you know, when it comes to collecting and stuff, man, like, there's so much shit on here that I'm never going to play, and there's really no point in having it. So what's the issue here? Is it, do I want to have a bunch of games because seeing a bunch of games makes me feel better? Or is it I have a space issue, and I just want to fill all of my empty space with things that are just as empty? Because, I mean, I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to play Madden 10 for the 360. Not when I have Madden 25. Literally, this 25 and this 25. And then again, I might not even play those. But, I mean, if I did like an all-killer, no-filler, like if I got rid of every single game that I did not give that much of a shit about, out of 548 games, I probably have like 100. maybe a little more than that. So you don't necessarily need to do this, man. And then when you get into retro gaming and stuff like that, I've started to consider getting back into emulation. Just because it's, I'm thinking about all the money that I've spent on these games just for them to sit on the shelf. Wouldn't it make more sense just to emulate them and let them sit on a hard drive instead? I think so. But yeah, guys, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much for watching. And subscribe if you haven't. And I will catch you in the next video.